Hello folks, welcome to another video. Dorn bug. As soon as I turned on the camera, dorn bug flew up my nose. So anyways, yeah, I will be smoking Nub Nuance. Yeah, I bought like a box of 20 of these, and they are a kind of a chocolate, I guess a chocolatey flavored nub cigar. And I'll be using my Lotus quad torch, and if you're going to get a quad torch, I definitely recommend getting this Lotus model. It's the quad torch. I forgot what it's called. It has Lotus written on here, yeah, in big old, and of course made in England, made in the UK. It's not as, it is pricey, but it's not as pricey as a Zycar. I think, I don't know, is Zycar made in China? It's just, it is an American brand, but yeah, it's probably made in China. I guess at one time, UK brands were made in the UK, and it was like that for a long time, even after all of this made in China stuff. Don't see. Well, anyways, whoop, almost forgot. Gotta take the footband off. Yes, and with the quad torch, you gotta be careful. It's extra hot. And with a shorter cigar like the Nub, you gotta kind of point it away from your face. Or you will burn your brow, burn your forehead. Yeah, and Nubs are about 60, I think they're either 60 or 65 gauge. So they're short cigars, but they're, I guess that's why they're called Nubs. Yeah, nice smooth draw. And of course, it's all over the news. Speaking of the UK, damn bug, flew up my nose. There you go. Let's give a nice strong nose, I don't know what you call that. A nice nose blow, a nice strong blow. And of course another cool evening. And yes, and September is the month that usually temperatures begin to cool down. As a kid, I always noticed that when it really gets cold, it's like the last week of October, usually the week of Halloween. At least here in Texas, in northern states, October is the month where it does get cold, but for us it's more like November down here in the south. Yeah, but September, October are along the 2 months where it begins to cool down. But for some reason this year, Mother Nature did a switcheroo on us. July was like the hot, dry month. August was like the rainy month. So yes, the Queen of England has passed away. I think she was 99, and maybe she might have been like 100 something. If you really want to know, you can look it up. I mean, my grandmother passed away when she was 93. If it wasn't for pneumonia, that's what took her out. Would that? No, I said that wouldn't be. I guess that would be considered natural causes. No, I guess if a rock drops on your head and kill you, I guess that still be considered a natural cause. So yeah, so if pneumonia didn't take her out, because she's had bouts of pneumonia in the past, but we've always caught it, took her to the hospital, before the pneumonia took over her lung too much. I guess because when it comes to pneumonia, there's, I guess, upper respiratory, lower respiratory, and then the entire respiratory infection. Yeah, she might have made it to 99. A healthy old lady. Her mind was still intact. I mean, she, her memory was pretty spot on for her age. Unlike a certain guy that keeps yelling when he goes up to the podium. And so yes, it's on the MSN 24/7. Oh, the Queen passed away, and And of course, you know, the story of Meghan. Is her name Meghan? Anyway, Meghan Markle. Of course, she wears mosquito. She wears the pants in the family. You know, people say, yeah, Meghan Markle and her wife. And yeah, hey, if she doesn't want to go, if she wants to stay in L.A. and not go to England, and I can see her husband Prince Harry. Is it Prince Harry? So is it the younger brother? I think Harry's the older brother, or is he the younger? Andrew? No, Andrew. No, Andrew is Charles's brother, the pedo, or the Epstein Island Prince Andrew. Yeah, I think it's Harry and damn, I can't think of the older brother's name. The older yeah, the older balding brother. Yeah, but the thing is that they both renounce their royal title, so he's technically now a commoner. So you know, so they don't get the royal grift money. But somehow they're still able to afford $15 million mansions. I think it's one in Canada, one in LA. And no, Meghan Markle, she was in a few. I think she was in a TV series, but she wasn't making what's her face? The lady's in Pretty Woman. Don't want to forget her name. Yeah, but she wasn't the top billing starlet of Hollywood, so she wasn't making $10 million per movie. She wasn't making $10 million from that TV series she was in. And even if she did, $15 million house, even for someone who made, let's say, a $10 million a season for that one TV show, you still got $5 million to come up with. This is a good cigar. It's a very, it's kind of like a chocolatey coffee. It's almost like a mocha. But the scent is very, how should I put it? Yeah, it's not strong like a Java, like a Drew Estates Java. Those, yeah, you take a puff, you get hit from the from the flavor. But this one's more of a mild, not really in your face type scent. Yeah, if you smoke this if you were outside, you smoke this among other, hey doggy, you smoke this among other smokers, they wouldn't chase you away. Hey, little dog, you're not tough. Yeah, she's barking. I checked the yard. She's barking early. I checked the yard. There's nothing in the yard. Maybe it's her doggy sense. Yeah, so Harry went. Meghan Markle stayed back in the U.S., which, hey, I'm fine with that. It's like, yes, you married into the family. Technically, you should go as a sign of respect. Just go. Keep your head down. Keep your mouth shut. Once the funeral's over, you hop on your private plane. Fly back. But I guess there's too much friction between her and the royal family. So maybe the wife, Prince Harry, told his husband, hey, just go ahead and stay here. Don't bother coming because you're just going to cause friction. Like, okay. And that's their family business, But of course, since they're royal, their family business is in the public. Everyone gets to see, your. And of course, Prince Charles is going to be. Who knows when his coronation is going to happen? Of course, since Meghan Markle, her title is Duchess since she married into. And since she married into the family, and she's a non-royal, so she gets the title of Duchess. Case of people, well, what about Princess Diana? Well, Princess Diana is the Princess of Wales, so she has that. So she had that title before she married Prince Charles, so she keeps her title. And of course, you know, Harry, he's now just Harry. He's not Prince Harry anymore, since he abdicated his title. Now, had he married a princess or something, then yeah, she would have kept her title as princess. But I guess if you're, I guess, a commoner, in this case an American, you know, he didn't even marry a British commoner. She shouldn't have any titles at all. Yes, one of your citizenship rights as a U.S. citizen is that you will hold no title of nobility. So I guess while she's in the U.S., she's just Meghan Markle, and then when she's in the U.K., she's Duchess. I guess. Before she gave up her, you know, the title. Oh, I'm still trying to remember the older name. I think it's Andrew. I guess. Hey, you! What are you barking at? You little loudmouth dog. Hey, shh! Quiet! Don't make me get up, dog. Yes, and she's barking underneath the porch here. So it's super loud. Hey, quiet! Alright, let me be right back. You! Shh. Let me kick you inside the house, dog. That's right. Quiet. Nothing out there. Just check. You little... Darn bugs. Mosquito. At least it's not mosquitoes. It's just moths. And little barking dogs. Chew on your doggy bone. No barking. Alright. Dog. Yeah, I'll let her bark till she gets tired. Alright, so yeah, I guess there's someone's dog that's barking off in the distance. Hold on. It's loud. You! Yeah. Inside. Go! You! Go! Okay. Chased her inside. She'll be right back out, of course. And there it goes. You little... And yes, do have a door to close the dog door. Alright, so yeah, so it's gonna be Prince Charles. I guess he is the younger of the between him and Andrew. Prince Charles is the younger. Andrew's already said that he doesn't want to he abdicate his ascension. Both, well, actually, I mean, if something happened to Charles, you know, since Harry, you know, since he really, let's call that, was abdicated his royalty duties, it pretty much falls down to his older brother. I can't forget the guy. I think it is Andrew. So, anyways, of course, they'll show that, and you know, they'll show the funeral, then they'll show the coronation. So England, I guess she reigned for 70 years, and I think Charles is like in his 70s. I think he's around Trump's age. You know, the mid. He might even be older. Oh, he looks like he's in his 80s, but I think he's actually in his 70s. So yes, there's a very good chance that something might happen to him, and then they gotta go, okay, man, I guess you're the oldest son. He's got to step up. And it's not like, it's not like an actual king where he's actually got to run a country, kind of thing. Yeah, so it'll be about, actually, it's about over 100 years that England. This would be the first time they have an actual king, you know, ascend to the throne. in over 100 years, or a century, hundreds, because it was I guess it was Queen Elizabeth the First, and I don't know how long she went. And then it comes Queen Elizabeth II for 70 years. All right, so to the U.S. All right, so basically, well, actually, I guess we'll stay in Europe since we're talking about Europe. So yes, they right now, yeah, the electrical bill people are getting in Europe, because it's not just the UK, it's pretty much the whole of Europe. You know, the people that are getting $1,000, $2,000 electrical bill, people literally can't afford to turn on their lights. If you got an EV car, you can't afford to charge it. Yes, and of course, I read up on a news article where someone mentioned that, yeah, you know, folks who buy EV cars, they end up hating it, but because they have it, they're keeping it for I guess for show. It's like, hey, look at me. Even though they hate the car that they have, you know, they're still hanging on to it just for spite. I'm like, well, you know what? That might be the case. And of course, there was that picture that came out of West Virginia that showed the I guess a tourist, his EV ran out of juice. Now I wouldn't rent an EV. You know, if I owned one and drove one and knew the ins and outs of EVs, I would then rent one. But since I don't, I wouldn't rent one. Now I would rent one to drive. Just, you know, it was like, hey, you know, I want to buy a Tesla. Let me go rent one and see what it's like. That I would do. But you know, if I'm going on vacation somewhere, I wouldn't rent an EV. So it shows about 4 or 5 coal miners helping this tourist push his car to the coal mine where they have a charging port or a electrical outlet where the guy could plug his EV into. And then there was another picture. It was out of California where the guy, we don't know who the guy is, but it's a white Tesla. I think it was the SUV version. The one has the door that opens up like a gull wing. You know, and people are like, yeah, man, if you want to go 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, man, get a Tesla. That's not how most of us drive. And if you do that, if you floor your Tesla from every stop sign and every red light, you probably get 50 miles. You know, you probably get 50 miles to the charge. Yeah, and I was going to bring up my rechargeable batteries. Yes, I love battery operated tools. I've switched my my trimmer to the to battery operated, because you know, I'm not a for it sounded like whistles. But for home use, you know, for edging Bermuda grass, you know, yeah, I don't really need a gas. I still have my gas trimmer, steel. I think it's how it's pronounced. That's the steel. And those tend to have a problem where they have a hard time starting. They're expensive, and all of the professional yard maintenance guys, you know, the mower mans, they all use steel. And you know, with the electric, I ain't got to crank on it. You know, I have to crank on it for like 20, 30 times before it starts up. You know, by then my arm's like, oh shit, you know, let me sit down for a minute, you know, let it sit there and idle. But with the electric, and of course I got, you know, I bought the one with the 2 batteries. You gotta have 2 battery package. Yeah, and that's the problem with power, you know, the battery operated power tools. You know, I only buy the one. At least now, if I buy it, it's got to come with 2 batteries, or I'll buy a backup battery. Like the other day, I had a honeydew, putting together some stuff. Grabbed the my battery operated torque wrench. I think it's a impact wrench. Impact wrench. Yes, you use the impact wrench for, hey you little, yeah, there's a neighbor's dog probably about 3 or 4 houses away that's barking. So anyways, I go to use it, squeeze the trigger. I got one or two use, and then it died. You pull the trigger. So now I'm like, ah, crap. Yeah, and I bought this, back in the day, a few years back. And yes, it's been, because you don't use it. It just sits in the garage, and the battery drained. That's the problem with batteries. And of course, the problem with fuel, of course, for like mowers, trimmers, yeah, you can use dirty fuel. They run just fine with dirty fuel. Yeah, but that's the problem with gas, is if you let gas sit for a while, the gas will go bad. But for things like lawnmowers, trimmers, riding lawnmowers, they run just fine on dirty fuel. So yeah, so if you let your battery sit, over years, or in my case, it's over the summer. I think the last time I used it was like in March, and the battery drained. And I was like, damn it, gotta plug it up. Now I gotta wait an hour for it to charge up. I mean, you can wait 10-15 minutes and get like a quarter charge if it's just a little something you got to do. But this, I had a lot of doings to do, so I had to wait the full hour for the charger to turn green to tell me that it's fully charged. Yeah, in this particular, and of course on this particular impact wrench, the battery didn't come with one of those indicator buttons where you press and it shows how much charge you got. So waited, and yeah, and I was like, okay, you guys with the EVs, right now it's about 2% of cars on the road, at least in the U.S., are EV. That's the same number of motorcycles on the road. So it's not a whole lot, and already, already at that 2%, they're draining, or they're cutting into the electrical grid. So imagine if all cars, or imagine it's 50%. You actually here in Texas we got the message, but I think in July when it was super hot. I guess the wind turbines out in West Texas the wind wasn't blowing in West Texas where the turbines were. So the EV owners got a message. Hey, do not charge your EVs during the day. Wait until evening to plug it in when people are when people are home in the evening. But basically, I was going to say, don't charge it during the day. Wait until the evening to plug your EV in. And if you work third shift, you're kind of screwed, because you're gonna have to plug in your car when you come home at 3 or 4 in the morning, or 6 or 7 in the morning, because you work third shift. It's like, well, I gotta charge my car. I work third shift. And yes, if you own rechargeable batteries, which I have, I use them in my remote controls, use them in my flashlights, and when you charge them, you go touch the battery, they are freaking hot. Hot to where you don't want to hold it in your hand for more than a few seconds before you want to drop it. Kind of hot, drop it like it's hot. So now imagine you got 7,000 of those. So basically it's 7,000 modules, so it's not like 7,000 batteries. The way the batteries in the EVs are, there's a single battery. It's I should go inside and grab one. So it's not a AA or a C. It's I can pause the video and go get one, show you guys. Yeah, never mind, I'm gonna stay. Too lazy. I was gonna bring it, but basically it's about the size of this. Here we go. It's about the size of this lighter for one battery, and then there'll be 12 of them in a pack, and then each module has 3 of these packs. So each module's got 36. Is it 12, 24, 30? Yeah, okay. So each module's got 36 of these batteries in them, and then like Tesla, they got 7,000 of these modules. So 36 times, what's 36 times 7? I'm trying to do math in my head. Yeah, long math in your head. So yeah, so you're looking at about, you know, 100. Oh, what is it? 7 times 21. Yeah, it's let's see, 7 times, oh, what is it? Ah, damn. Anyways, that's going to be a lot of batteries. Yeah, well, I don't even have my smartphone out here. I usually have either my tablet or my smartphone. But yeah, but individual battery cells, that's a lot. And you're looking at at least 100,000. I think it's 200 math. It's 200,000 for a Tesla. Anyways, and of course, individual battery cells can go dead. So out of that module where it's got 24 cells, 2 or 3 or 4 of them can go dead. The problem is that I don't know about Tesla, but I read up on Nissan because the Leaf had a problem. Because the Leaf had a problem with these cells going dead, and Nissan, of course, told their customers that at least half of the cells in your modules have to be dead before we will replace that module. So out of the 12 battery, if 3 or 4 are dead, they won't replace it. Then of course they got their tester that tests it. So if you got 6 or more dead cells in your module pack, then Nissan will replace it. Yes, and I believe all of these companies that sells EV, they have a battery, extended battery, specifically for battery plan that you can purchase extra, which is, I guess, outside of the warranty, which covers, I guess, motors and stuff like that. Yeah, so while you're sitting there for an hour, let's say let's say you got home, you're tired, and you're like, ah, man, I'll plug it up a little bit later. Let me just lay down, which we've all done. No, let me just lay down, take a little nap for an hour or two. You wake up and it's midnight. You're like, oh man, screw it, I'm going to bed. And then you forget to charge your EV, so the next morning you got enough charge to go into work, but you don't have enough charge to make it back home. So you gotta stop by the station. So now you're gonna be sitting there for an hour waiting for it to charge up, and that's a fast charge. The slow charge is when you're at home, you're plugging up into the wall plug at home and charging overnight. That's the slow charge. But the fast charge is the 1 hour where you're sitting at the charging station waiting for it to charge up. And in this world of impatience, I got no patience to wait an hour for my EV to charge. People are gonna start complaining and say, hey, can you make it charge in 15 minutes? And from what I read, at least in Europe, they got some super fast charging stations that I guess should charge your EV in 15 minutes. The problem with that, and as we saw with Samsung, is that if you supercharge, you can fast charge because the newer Samsung, they are fast charging, but they're not super. That's the reason why I think it was the Samsung 7, the Galaxy 7. It had like a super fast charge feature, and people who were using it were their phones were literally blowing up, catching fire. So yeah, so people using the super fast charging on their EV, yeah, you're going to be seeing these charging stations catching fire, or EVs catching fire at these super fast charging stations. And like I said, the battery gets super hot when I'm recharging them, and if you can imagine, you got 100,000 of these underneath your car while you're charging. That's getting super hot, and of course now it's coming out that these of course, electricity, anything electrical emits EMF, just like my camera. the camera light, they all emit EMF, but it's not high enough to where, you know, it's going to cause me cancer. But you know, you got 7,000 of these battery modules underneath your car for no protection. And of course, you're just saying, well, protection, so what can I do to protect myself from this EMF coming from these 7,000 battery modules? Well, you got to line it with lead. You know, EVs are heavy already, so if you want to line it with lead so that you don't kill yourself or kill your customers with EMF, yeah, you're basically, when you're rolling down the road, you're basically frying yourself. You know, you're basically sitting in a microwave rolling down the road. No, it's a microwave that's set on super low. So you're slow cooking yourself, you know, as you're driving down the road in your Nissan Leaf, your GM Bolt. I don't think GM sells the Volt anymore. The Volt was people are saying, hey, the Volt was good. It was GM's hybrid, and it basically, I think it gets 50 miles on the battery, and after that it kicks, and after that the gas engine kicks in. And then you're running your Volt on your gas engine. Of course, at the same time, it's recharging the battery. And I think the Toyota Prius kind of runs a little bit different than that. It actually, depending on how much power you need, you'll kick over to the gas, or at times you'll run on both gas and electric for more power. But people like the Volt. So GM got rid of it for the Bolt, V-O-L-T, and now the Bolt, B-O-L-T. So one is a, and I've seen these Bolts on the road. They're small. They're little dinky cars. They're subcompacts basically. No, you don't, Spider. Yes, any spiders I see, I step on them. If they're up in the, you know, the corners of the house and stuff, I leave them alone. If they're crawling on the ground, they get stepped on. All right, that's a good doggy. She's chewing on her doggy rawhide. And yes, GM put out that warning to their Bolt owners to not leave it charged in, and also to not let the battery run dead. Now, the reason you don't want your rechargeable batteries to run dead, you know what? That reminds me. I got a battery that's charging right now. And yes, if you're recharging rechargeable batteries, do not leave it unattended. If you once they get full, it sounds like a truck backing up, or one of those big. It's probably construction. Yeah. So if you leave it plugged in, you know, make sure you're home. If you leave it home, unplug it. Don't leave it in when you go to bed. I guess your EV car, you got no choice. Because once they get full, and if your charger isn't a kind that is a smart charger that will cut off. Most modern chargers will cut off when it senses that, hey, the battery's full, I'm cutting the charge. But I guess in the old days, and in some cases, you know, the battery gets full, and you know, if the volts is still coming through, it will catch fire. You know, in mind, I got one charging in the garage. I completely forgot about it. Need to go check up on it after this video. So yeah, so that's you know, the problem with batteries is that they will. It's not a question of if, but when. You know, they tend to swell up and then break. You know, acid comes out, catch fire. And of course, you know, Trump in his speech in Pennsylvania, he kind of, I guess there was a story he talked to one of his buddies. Because one of my friends, he went and rented an EV and decided that he wanted to drive, do a little tour, you know, drive across country. He came back, complained, and he spent more time at the charging station than actually driving. It's like, yeah, if you happen to, he would drive for 2 hours and then wait an hour. drive for 2 hours, and waited an hour at the charging stations. And yes, if I actually timed myself, and I went to the gas station. From the time I pull up, get my gas, close the gas cap, close the flap, get back in my car. It's about 10 minutes. Yes, my car's got a 12-gallon. It's a 4-cylinder. It's got a 12-gallon gas tank. So it doesn't take about 5 minutes. 5, 6 minutes. 7 minutes tops. Because some gas stations got their nozzles to where some it comes out real strong. Some gas station you go to is like kind of weak coming out. So compare 10 minutes 15 minutes tops, 10-15 minutes to an hour plus. You're probably spending an hour plus at these charging stations. And of course California, I'll close on this. So of course California has and they've been talking about it. It's been in their the bill has been circulating in the California legislature for years now, and it finally passed. They finally, I guess, voted on the bill, and so by 2035, they won't sell any more gas combustion engine. Well, actually, internal combustion engine. So they won't sell. You won't be able to buy. So basically, you can go out of state, buy a gas car, and I guess bring it back to California. But yeah, be ready to pay through the nose on I guess taxes and stuff like that. And of course, I've talked with my Cali relatives, and they're talking about they're giving warnings. Hey, try not to use too much electricity. Try not to turn on too much lights in your house. If you have an EV, try not to charge it. They keep getting messages that, hey, possible blackouts in your area. And of course, there was the I guess a fire in a section of their grid in California, which of course, tens of thousands of residents going on the third day with no electricity. And the thing with the California grid is that they haven't upgraded it since the 1920s. So their grid is about 100 years old. They could have spent I think it was 400 million that they spent on solar panels and wind turbines. They could have spent that upgrading their infrastructure, the power grid first. So upgrade your power grid first before you spend the money on solar panels and wind turbines. Yeah, so now they're old, 100-year-old. I guess they got no choice. So once it burns up, you got to replace it. And I don't think California's got the money. But they seem to somehow come up with money for this and that. So if you live in California, you better hold on to that gas, get gas, the internal combustion engine car you got. We're getting a little taste, at least in California. And of course, the energy secretary lady came out. Everyone should follow California's, I guess, energy model. I was like, okay. Anytime a government official comes out and tells you to follow anything from California, they're full of shit. Look at California. As I told you, they're getting warnings of rolling blackouts. They're being told, don't turn on your light. So if you got a porch light, don't turn on your porch lights. Don't turn on too much of your lights in the house. Refrain from using AC. Don't. If you got an EV, refrain from plugging it in. So yeah, so you guys in California, kind of, you guys in California and you guys in Europe, are getting a little taste of what it's like to be on, wind turbine and solar panel electrical powers only. And I have a feeling come winter in Europe, they're in for a tough winter. Those poor guys in Europe, Like France, they voted for Macron 3 times, because France has 1 day voting, paper ballots. But yes, they had mass mail-in ballots. That's probably what got Macron in this time. But then again, it's their election system seems to be on the up and up. So yeah, 1 day voting, paper ballots, and of course the UK got that Tuss lady. That's that I guess she was sworn in the other day, and I don't get why. Why were the, I guess, climate extremists or the green cultists, they were out protesting? It's like, dude, why are you protesting? You guys won. You guys literally won. Your power is now on wind turbines and solar power only. You guys won. What are you protesting? If you look at videos from I guess YouTubers who does videos where the walk around videos, you see when they go to the beach, then they pan out to the coast. The British Isles, or at least the mainland England, their coast is full of wind turbines. I guess once it catches fire and falls into the North Sea or the British Channel, depending on where they're at, I guess it's you don't have to worry about cleaning it up. It's in the ocean, I guess. What's that saying? I guess what you don't see, I can't think of it. Yeah, this cigar is pretty strong. So yeah, so I don't know why those guys were complaining and why they were protesting. I guess they were protesting that Tuss lady. I guess they didn't like her. But then again, like I said, you guys won. I don't know why you're protesting. With Putin cutting off the gas, and of course they're complaining. Oh, Putin is using energy as a weapon. Well, if you guys would quit sending money and weapons to Ukraine, Putin he's been warning Europe. He's been warning NATO. Hey, stop sending money, stop sending weapons. They wouldn't listen. It's like, okay, I'm cutting embargo basically. So Putin is like, okay, I'm going to embargo gas on you guys. So could they get natural gas? Yes, basically the gas we're talking about is natural gas. That's what the Nord Stream, not Nordstrom. That's what the Nord Stream pipelines are. There's Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, and he cut them both off. And and so whatever store of natural gas that Europe has is not going to last them into winter. It's definitely ain't going to last them through winter. So who knows what you guys in Europe are going to do when you're sitting there freezing your butt off while your elites, your politicians are sitting in their nice warm homes, with their heaters blasting, with their lights on, while you're sitting in the dark, freezing your butt off. Your kids are freezing their butt off. If you got an EV, you can't charge it. You want to use the rails. The rails all run on electric. The underground in London, it runs on electric. Luckily for them, at least they're well, I think, yeah. Hey, come on, old hound dog. All right, the old hound dog's coming out. Yeah, now I think in London they switched over. Not all of them, but they switched over to electric cabs. So they're I guess the double-decker buses are still diesel. So you still got your double-decker bus that you guys can use to get around. Luckily. And yes, I almost forgot. Yeah, I guess we'll talk about abortion. Because the lefties, at least people in the U.S., not just the lefty, but everyone sort of has this impression that abortion on demand is legal in Europe. It's never legal. They do have the for rape, mother's health is in danger, kind of thing. But it wasn't until 2021 that I guess Spain and the Netherlands passed abortion on demand up to 14 weeks. But up till then, the abortion on demand wasn't legal in Europe at all. And right now, it's only legal in Spain and in the Netherlands. up to 14 weeks. So yeah, so all of the lefties who were crying, I'm going to move to Europe. So, well, please do. Make sure you move to Spain or to the Netherlands, because you know, you go to any other country, you're going to be back to square one. All right, well, that's it. Enjoy your smoke. Hopefully, this is a midweek. Well, actually, today's Thursday, so I guess it's kind of a midweek. So yeah, so enjoy your smoke, your cigar, cigarette, weed where it's legal, your vapes, and whatever else you can, you know. Of course, you can smoke meth, but that's illegal. You know, and unless I'm thinking of something else. Thanks for watching.